All right, Truett Hanes, welcome to the show.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming, man. My favorite competitive runner. I almost called you a run influencer, and then I realized, no, this guy is actually a real runner.
There we go. No, I'm finally getting some cred.
I think the next time I see you, probably this time next year, you'll have on one of those like NASCAR-looking uniforms with all your different sponsors on
Heck
it.
yeah, no. I'm in ketone. Ketone's one of them right here. So
homage to ketones. Actually, I'm going to have a ketone because I like the caffeinated ones.
I know
Shout out to Jamie at Ketone IQ.
The grape flavor's great.
CEO Mikey Brandt is a great runner too. Have you run with him?
I ran on the treadmill with him down in LA.
Yeah.
I did their show, the fast ones, but no, he's a great runner. I think he ran 2:35 at Chicago, and then he just ran a half marathon, I think 5:45 per mile.
Damn.
I think it's like 1:15.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty good clip.
Computer science major at Stanford.
Jeez.
So he's a dummy too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, man, I'm so excited to talk to you. I seriously, I admire you a lot. I love the way you like embrace the hate that you get on social media. And I think it's interesting that people tend to...
I didn't know that I got any hate.
Oh, well, good. Don't read the comments.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny because I talk to my wife about this stuff all the time. I'm like, I can't understand why these people don't like this guy. It reeks of jealousy. I'm like, he's handsome, he's muscular, he's fast. It just seems to fucking irk people.
And I'm so humble too. People don't realize that, but I'm so humble. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know what it is. Sometimes you can put a target on your back. Like I think even before the show, you just said that like I run in jeans and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's like that can rub people the wrong way because they think whatever reason I'm doing it for, I'm trying to get attention. And I am to a certain extent for like the perfect jean. They help raise money for me. I don't know if that's ever been conveyed, but they raise money for the Miracle Foundation, which is actually based out of Austin. And then so like when a pair of jeans is sold, portion of that is donated to the Miracle Foundation, which helps kids find families like all over the world. So it's like, I kind of use that as like a marketing tactic, but also I just kind of enjoy it because it's funny.
I definitely didn't know that. I just assumed, like when I see that, I go, wow, this guy's brilliant. He must be getting paid a bundle from that jean company. That's honestly, that's what I thought.
Right. Yeah. No, it's they're a great company. They're actually out here filming it. Me running tomorrow because I am going to run the marathon tomorrow in jeans.
My God.
But no, it's really it's going to be $40,000 raised since last April. I ran the Boston Marathon in jeans. And then, so it's been, $40,000 with a goal of $100,000. So, I mean, that's like awesome. I said, it's 10% of sales get donated to this foundation. And I mean, they have a goal of like getting rid of orphanages altogether and just being able to reconnect these kids with a loving family. That's all that it comes down to. So.
That's incredible. I have an adopted daughter from Ethiopia, and when we went to the orphanage, one of the things that they make you do when you do an international adoption is do all the paperwork in advance. So there's absolutely no way you can get there and be like, I'll take all the kids. Because when you get there, you're like, I'll take every single kid here. Because there's a lot of older kids. We adopted a newborn baby.
Right.
But you get there and you're like, F it, I'll take them all. But they set it up the way they do, I think, because of that. But yeah, orphanages is not a nice place.
Well, we were just talking to Caroline. She is the founder of the Miracle Foundation. Today, we did the Shakeout Run, and she was saying she went to India because that's where a lot of the work is based out of. And the kids, there was like hundreds of kids in this orphanage, and they had wooden beds.
Yep.
So like they couldn't believe that kids were just living like this. And then, so that's like when she had the calling to make sure that she could help as much as possible. But it's like, we don't even realize how great we have it here. And like kids, they don't have anyone. They don't have anyone that cares for them. And then, so yeah, I remember hearing you talk to Rich Roll, I think, just about your daughter. And I thought it was amazing because, it's the foundation does a lot of similar work to that, try to find a loving family for these kids. So
yeah, I can't talk too much about it. I'll start getting emotional. Yeah. And I know if I start crying, Cam is going to make fun of me.
that sounds like my dad. So yeah.
People like, I got to tell you, like Rich Roll and your dad and all these people that have used their platform to give a guy like me an opportunity to tell my story. Like I was a fucking dead dog loser, drug addict in my late 30s, like just behaving like a complete mediocre piece of crap.
Yeah.
And then I started taking accountability for myself, but I never had intention like of any run goals ever. I was running just to literally like stay sober. And as I started to progress, it was so heartwarming for us, Rich Roll, but then for your dad to have me on. And for them, they're probably like, oh, it's an interesting story. Who cares? But for me, it changed my life. Like I have a book coming out in a month that's like they think is going to be on the bestsellers list.
Jeez.
Published by Simon & Schuster. The pre-orders have been incredible. But I owe it to like guys like Rich and your dad who have this huge platform that are like, let me tell stories about guys like us that are just grinding, who were just regular guys until they decided I'm not going to be regular anymore.
Right. And then so that was a decision that you made, is like to not be regular. But like, did you have a history in running at all? Like
zero. I played football and hockey in college, and neither very good. But I was like, I was athletic. So I had run a 3:30 marathon, like with a little bit of training, but I didn't know how to run necessarily.
Sure.
So I didn't have two left feet, but I was never a runner. Like,
how old were you when you ran the 3:30?
In my 30s.
Okay. Yeah.
So like, right in the midst of like my addiction, early days of addiction, I would get sober, then I'd get back on the drugs.
Yeah.
And when I got sober in 2010, started doing triathlons, I was doing well. I did Ironman in Hawaii 3 times, the World Championships. But when we had our 4th child, we moved to LA and we moved to Santa Monica Mountains in Pacific Palisades. And that's where I just started running in the trails every day, 10 miles minimum with 1,200 feet of elevation gain. Like I got strong.
Right.
And, people ask me all the time, oh, should I get a coach? And I'm like, well, what's your marathon time? And they were like, 3:40. And I'm like, well, I got a coach when I ran 2:33.
You can progress so much by yourself. If you just show up every day, like with the intention of getting better and just logging those miles, like people throw in the towel before they even get started.
I did this all just by running a ton. I ran 10 miles every day, and for 10 weeks prior to a marathon, I'd do a 20-miler.
Yeah.
And when I got to 2:33, I couldn't break through. I ran 2:33, 2:34, 2:35, and then I hired a coach, Mario Fraioli, in Sacramento. And then first race I had him, I ran 2:28 at CIM.
Okay, yeah. So that's a great course.
Yeah.
That's a great course. I just ran 2:29:49 there. And I was hoping for a better time, but marathons are tough, man.
It's experience, man.
Yeah.
You're still like relatively new to marathoning. I think it takes a lot of experience, and you learn something new every single race about fueling, about pacing in particular. Every single time that I've run sub 2:30, about 5 or 6 times, it's either been like within seconds, first half and second half, or a slightly negative split. The second half is faster. Anytime I run through the halfway under 1:14, disaster.
Really?
I just couldn't get it right. But when I would manage my effort, oh my God, there's nothing better than racing the last 5 miles of a marathon versus surviving.
Oh my gosh, I know. I hate surviving. And that's typically what it turns into sometimes. But like the Boston Marathon, I remember that's the first time I've ever felt good finishing a marathon. I felt strong, and I was like, this is a new feeling.
Yeah.
But when you ran that 2:28, was your top end speed, like were you training around like a 5-minute pace at all, or?
You know what's funny? Even now, when I do training runs, I look at the splits that I'm running in training and can't even fathom that I ran as fast as I did in a race.
Really?
When I got down to 2:33 and I started working with a coach and he was like, all right, we're going to do mile repeats on like 5:10 pace. I was like, dude, I don't think I can do that. And I never could in training. Then I'd run 5K at like 5:14 pace. And I was like, holy shit, I can't, it's just, I don't know, in a race, I just get another gear and it's just holding on.
It brings it out of you for sure. But I mean, what I've kind of always thought was if I can just have the effort of a race, not so much like focus on the actual pace, then I think that's maybe more important than making sure you're hitting it on your watch. But I mean, this time around, this is the best shape I've ever been in. I've lost, since CIM, I was 164, and now I was 152 when I left here.
Holy
Yeah,
cow.
So 2 months, I've lost like 12 pounds, and not really, I don't think I've lost like anything that would keep me from being a good runner.
Yeah.
Like some of the muscle's gone away, but muscle that isn't really making me a better runner. So I'm very curious to see how tomorrow goes.
Yeah, you know who I think about when I think about changing their body and for specific goals is Nick Bear. Nick Bear, that dude will lose like 20, 30 pounds of muscle, do an Ironman, then he'll do a bodybuilding show 2 years later. Like, I love his attitude.
Some people would call him a hybrid athlete.
Dude, he lives it and he's got a successful business. He's just like, I love everything he does. But he's another one that gets hate every time he does an event, and I'm just like, ugh, give it a rest. Like,
I know.
If you're a grown man leaving shitty comments for someone, I just wonder, like, what's going on in your life? When I see someone, then I'm like, oh, look at this asshole. I hate him. I'm just like, let me keep scrolling. I don't even want to expose myself as being a hater.
Sure. Yeah.
Just hate to yourself.
I think that's because you have a healthy mind and you're a normal person. These guys don't. So it's hard to understand where they're coming from. But we were just talking about it before this, but I can either sometimes handle it really well, I think, and then other times not so much, because I'll be honest, there's like a certain level of like the fuck you motivation that I just absolutely thrive on. I'm like, oh man, you guys don't know what you're doing for me right now. Like it's making me that much stronger. But then I have an internal battle between that and I'm like, you don't think I can do this? Watch me.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to make sure that I do it now. And I want you to watch every second of it. It's going to drive you crazy. Then there's another part of me that I'm like, I need to not allow myself to be controlled by my emotions, and especially like hate, because in anger, it's not really the healthiest way of going about things a lot of the times. And it's like the verse, I think it's Proverbs 15:1, but a gentle word turns away anger, and then a harsh word stirs up wrath.
Yep.
And then so it's like you can either meet that anger with anger from yourself, and then who knows where that's going to go. It's just going to blow up. Or you can just meet it with, like, hey man, I don't know. You almost kind of rise above it and you're like, I hope you just figure out whatever's going on in your life. Yeah. And then, and maybe they can be inspired by that. And the fact that you didn't meet them with anger, maybe they can, figure out whatever the heck's going on in their life. But
yeah,
I battle with it for sure.
Yeah. Well, I always say when people say nasty things, I'm like, you realize that this comment says more about you than me.
Oh yeah.
I'm just sharing what I'm doing. And I mean, I have a guy who helps me with social media and he's like, let's post this clip. I'm like, no way. I'm like, dude, we're going to get trolled like crazy. And I'm too much of an insecure pussy to like put it up there. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it. And he's like, come on, people will like it. He's like, even if it gets hate, it's like attention. I go, I don't want negative attention.
Yeah.
Like my psyche can't handle it.
Yeah, I know. It is a really tough balance because social media, it's like controversy sells.
Yeah.
So like if you want to get engagement, followers, maybe like allowing people to hate on you is a good way to get there, but it never feels good.
No,
it drives them crazy.
Hey guys, want to talk to you quickly about Ketone IQ, my favorite energy source. Ketone IQ, if you don't know, is a fast-acting source of energy. I prefer it with the caffeine. It's like a double whammy. It provides fast-acting energy, but doesn't give you the same crash like caffeine or the jitters. This stuff is used by the majority of the pro peloton at the Tour of France. And listen, if it didn't work and wasn't backed by science, those guys wouldn't use it. I've been loving this stuff. I've been taking it for the last couple of years. I'm running like 70 to 80 miles a week at 54 years old, and every single one of my runs is fueled by Ketone IQ. Give them a shot. Go to ketone.com. Use the promo code RIDEOUT to save some money. Let me know what you think. I think you're going to love it. Boom. The one thing that makes me believe in you more than anything is the way that you went about the pull-up contest, because you tried to set the record and like failed pretty miserably.
Yeah.
Like you weren't even close. And I'm like, how do you go home and be like, shit, I didn't even, would you get about halfway there?
Yeah, so that was when the record was 8,008 and I did 4,100.
Yeah.
And so I was 4,000 short.
I got to the halfway of the marathon and couldn't finish. Like I understand if you got like 23 miles and collapsed, but the fact that you went away, regrouped, and came back and did it is crazy to me.
Well, it's like you want to run a 2-hour marathon. Like you're laced up and you're telling everyone, yeah, I'm going to go and set the world record.
Yeah.
And then you don't even finish halfway. Yeah. So it's like not even close, not even in the realm of possibility. And then people are like, this guy's an absolute clown. Like he has no idea what he's talking about. And I felt every bit of that. And I was like, man, maybe I am just a freaking loser. Like who knows? Because I had my wife convinced that, I had trained hard enough. I didn't really train at all, but I was like, I can just bust this out.
Yeah.
There was like a certain level of arrogance there, and I think she believed in me so much because I did a 100-miler without training at all. Like I was just walking my dog a mile a day and I was like, I'm going to sign up for this 100-miler and just do it. It was torture, but I finished it. It took me like 32 hours. So she was kind of thinking, she's like, I mean, maybe you have what it takes. Yeah, I believe in you. And then so when the wheels started to come off and I was like, oh shit, like my arm started to cramp. I could hardly get my chin over the bar and I was only halfway there. Then I had to announce to everyone on the live stream and in person. I was like, it's not going to happen today.
Yeah.
That was pretty crushing. I felt like I let everyone down because honestly I did.
Yeah.
You don't really know that until you put yourself in that position. Then you're like, oh shit, I'm not even close. Let's make myself into the person that can succeed and do this though. And so it's just back to the drawing board. And that's what I put in the work necessary for the next 6 months Then I did 8,100 and I was able to get the record.
So crazy.
Yeah.
That feeling though, when you fail and so miserably, and then you, what I tend to do is like think, oh my God, I've let people down. I'm so embarrassed. And then I realize like, why am I embarrassed? This is a goal I set for myself. It's not for someone else. Like I did the High Rocks in Boston. I did a High Rocks in New York and did like 110 in the pro division. I was like, dude, I can win this whole thing. I can be in the top 15 guys. Easy. I didn't even train for this. Then I trained hard for Boston. And I sucked at the wall balls in general. And when I got to the wall balls at Boston, I don't know what the F happened to me. I just completely fell apart. It did like 123. And I was like, I'm going to win this whole thing.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so embarrassed. I was like slinking out of there. Like I just didn't want, they were like, you know, the High Rocks team, their video team was like, how's it going, Ken? I'm like, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to crush. I like limped out of there like with my tail between my legs, like humiliated.
Yeah.
But it also made me think like, you can't be anytime I feel like I'm going to crush, it never goes well.
Although I will say, you put yourself out there.
Oh, yeah.
So many people talk shit and they're like, oh man, I can crush this. And, you know, I'm the greatest athlete you've ever seen. And then they never actually try.
Yeah.
You know, so like, I do have a respect for you putting yourself out there and you found out that, you know, it's tougher than you thought. But no, I mean, you got to be willing to try.
Yeah.
That's all that it is. I mean, I have a hat on diet trying. So it's like,
I feel that.
Yeah, you got to be willing to try and then you can make corrections after you've tried. But yeah, until then, it's just, you know, you can be the baddest person in the world in your own head. Everyone is. It's like, okay, lace up and let's see.
I don't think everyone is. I think most people in their head are like, please don't call on me. Please let me like not get noticed.
Sure. Yeah, maybe they put on a facade a little, but yeah, no, it's, I don't know. I mean, for me, I always just want to see what I'm capable of. So, you know, I think highly of my abilities in the sense that I think I can achieve, if I put in the same amount of work as like these elites.
Yep.
Like, I don't see why I couldn't be there.
Listen, you don't have to convince me. I look at those guys though, when I'm training and people are like, you should take a rest day. You should do this. You should do that. I'm like, I'm training at the peak. I might get 100-mile weeks for a marathon, a couple weeks max. And people are like, oh, you're really training too much. I'm like, the winners are running 140 miles a week. Like, why?
Exactly.
Why? Are you a coach? Like, It blows my mind when people offer advice. You know that expression, don't take advice from people who aren't doing the things that you want to do?
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you
that
trying
applies
to help
perfectly.
me? Yeah, just leave me alone. Like,
well, it comes down to like the fight for your limitations and they're yours type of deal. And it's like, dude, people will talk themselves out of even trying
100%
and competing. But for me, with announcing the Olympic trials goal, it was like all the information you need to know is out there. If you're just willing to put in the work, a lot of people are capable, not a lot of people are willing. But I'm willing to put in the amount of work that's necessary. The 100-mile weeks, I'll do it for a year. And I just want to see where I land. Maybe my genetics can only give me to like a 219 or something. You know, that's what a lot of people tell me. They're like, you don't have the top end speed. You've never showed any promise.
What the fuck do they know if people tell me? I mean,
they looked at my high school times and they're convinced that like, oh, you've never showed any promise. Like, what would make you believe? And I was like, dude, I would show up in high school. I would show up, get in shape, not run at all year long. Get in shape, cross-country season, and as soon as cross-country season ended, I wouldn't run again until next year.
Yeah.
So, like, I've never even been consistent. I have no idea what I'm capable of, but I'm willing to find out.
Yeah, neither do the people who are telling you that. But, like, go back to, like, high school. So, you did run cross-country in high school?
Yeah, cross-country and track. Yeah, and then so, like, the off-seasons between those, I would be in the gym, just trying to put on muscle.
Did you play any other sports or just running?
Just running because my dad wanted me to. So I had zero want. I think I enjoyed it. I ran my first marathon when I was 13.
Yep.
So I did the Eugene Marathon and I did 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Wow.
So
at 13, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I was probably like 4'7" and like 60 pounds. Like I was a tiny, tiny kid. I was always the smallest kid in class.
Yeah.
But I could kind of grind it out.
Yeah.
You know, just like I think my dad running with us, we put in more work than everyone else, so I could kind of just, you know, shut my brain off and just get the miles done.
Yeah.
And so in the 7th grade is when I did that marathon. You had to be 16 to run it. My dad like forged my age. And
he's a fucking crazy horse.
So I was 13 and then you had to be 16, ran it anyway. And during that time I was on the track team, 7th grade doing homework and whatever during the week. And then on the basketball team as well. And then training for the marathon on the weekends. So just kind of like my entire life. It's been like that my entire life, kind of.
Yeah.
Even in college, when I tried to get in shape to qualify for Boston, because I stopped running immediately after high school. I was
Where'd you go to school?
University of Oregon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
You didn't want to run track there?
no, well, that's what I had zero. I was just so burnt out on the whole thing. Like in high school, I was like, I just wanted to be muscular because I was a
Yeah.
tiny kid all my
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, finally going through puberty. I don't think I'd had any armpit hair until I was like a junior in high school. I was just such a late bloomer.
Yeah.
And then I started to hit the gym and I was like, I think I benched 185 in like junior year. And I was like, this is going to be my path to success. I was like, I'm going to get so jacked. And
Interesting.
so running was on the back burner. I just didn't care. But then in college, I got it back a little. I was like, I want to see if I can like qualify for Boston.
Yeah.
So I ran a 257 in college, just train with my dad like a few times a week, then hit a 257.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was with, I would work on the weekends. It's like 3 days a week at the meat department, local grocery store, go to college during the week, go to the gym every single day, and then run a couple times a week with my dad. And then, so I've just always kind of been used to like just putting in a lot of work. And then, so now that I'm completely focused on just running, now it's time to see how good I can get at that.
Yeah. And did you hunt a lot with your dad when you were kids?
I did until like about 13. And then I hated it. Because, I'm sure you could kind of get a sense maybe with my dad. And maybe you're kind of like that with your kids, but like there's a certain level of intensity that can it makes you better for sure. Like as a kid, I can look back on it and respect it, but getting yelled at or getting pushed, like hunting, it's just like waking up early, logging a bunch of miles, like walking through the hills and the mountains. It's just like, it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So I was like, as soon as I got a chance, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah. No, listen, my kids don't run with me because I'm like hyper conscious because my dad was really into sports and like was always pushing. And I've been hyper conscious of that and didn't want to feel like I'm living vicariously through my own kids. So as a result, I probably don't push them hard enough. I mean, I encourage them, but it definitely comes across like you're describing. They're like, no. My dad is like, if you're going to, like they would say, if you're going to do something with my dad, like you have to be all in. You have to have the right equipment. You have to take it seriously. You don't just half-ass it.
Right.
So I try to watch from as far away as possible. Because even at my little guy plays, well, they all play tackle football, but I'm like, I don't care what happens out there. There's nothing stopping you from being the hardest, the person trying the hardest. Because we can watch the game and be like, that guy's trying harder than everyone. That should be your goal because that's the only thing you can control.
That's exactly what my dad would say too. Yeah. It's like he wanted us to give our best effort always. But, I think there's a certain level of pressure that comes with that maybe. Just like my dad wanting me to give my best effort is I would always be like checking over my shoulder, like during a basketball game is like, if you feel like you kind of made a mistake, you're like, oh, does my dad approve?
Yes.
And then, I never really played relax because of that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I do to my kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate it because I don't want to. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how to like turn it off.
Yeah. It's just because you care, obviously. And then I can think back on that now and realize it. But I always played my best games when he wasn't there. I was just, like I would be like, oh, I had like 25 points this game. Yeah. And it was like my dad was out of town. It's because the mistakes, you don't feel them. You don't feel like you're letting someone down, I guess.
Yeah. My kids ran their first race ever today.
Oh, really?
In Nashville while I wasn't there, all of them.
Oh,
She's like, I'm going to sign them up for a race the weekend you're in Austin. And I was like, oh, okay. I understand. Because for them, they're like, one of them said, oh, if we don't win, Dad's going to be so upset. And I'm like, I don't win most of the races that I run. Matter of fact, I usually don't win.
Yeah.
But they did it and they were super happy. So I like when they do things like that when I'm not there. Because like you said, when I'm there, they feel a tremendous pressure. My littlest guy, he's new to wrestling. Dude, wrestling is a hard sport for parents.
Oh, yeah.
He's out there one-on-one, and he wrestled in like a beginner's tournament, did really well, pinned 2 guys, got pinned once, and then he went to a real tournament. It was so hard to watch because he just got fucking bundled. He got like curled up and pinned the first match, and he comes off, and every kid that lost cried, like all the kids. So he comes off, and he's like all torn up, and he's like, I'm leaving. I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm like, buddy, there's 5 matches going on at once. There's hundreds of kids here. There's a winner and a loser every single match.
Right.
No one loses and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
We have to like figure this out. We can't leave. It took me like an hour. Like I convinced him, my wife helped me, convince him to go back right in time for him for the next match to get pinned again.
Yeah.
And thank God that was the end, but he was not happy. And it was more because he was embarrassed that he lost in front of me. Because I was like, dude, he does jujitsu. I'm like, you get tapped in jujitsu like multiple times a thing. But by girls, there's like, it's competitive. You can't be the best if you're afraid to lose.
Sure.
But it's so hard. He wants so bad to be the best. And it's just.
Well, it's a good life lesson, I think.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that, there's a certain level of like your parents need to look out for you there and be like, no, listen, like you're going to regret this and this is good character building. And then there can also be a level of like too much pressure for kids to handle. I don't know. I'm not a dad yet, so I don't know. Hey,
I would tell you, it is much harder than you think it is because you have in your mind how your kids are going to be, right? You imagine, oh, my kids are going to be running with me. They're going to do this. And then they're like, I don't want to run. I want to play Roblox. And I'm like, what? and I just learned to like kind of let it go. But that's the one good thing about my own running is like I have my own outlet. Like I know how to be competitive. I don't have to like worry about my kids winning to feel satisfaction. I can do my own physical challenges.
Sure.
The other thing that I'll say is through the work that I've done, it's provided my kids with a source of pride that their friends follow me on social media and they like me. And like my oldest son, I was dropping him at a party. Like my daughter would be like, Dad, can you drop me off down the block? Like I'm like, why are you? I'm like, why? I'm a cool dad. Why don't you? But she's just like, no. She's 15. My oldest son is like, Dad, can you come in and meet the guy's parents? My buddies want to say hi to you. And I'm like, it's my proudest moment as a dad that
That's
my friends,
awesome.
that my kids' friends like me.
Sure. No, there's a certain level. I mean, every kid, I think when you're growing up too, it's like if you're the fastest kid in class, you got a certain level of pride.
Yes.
So if your dad's like the fastest dad of all the dads, you got to be like, you guys got to meet him.
That's exactly right. Hey guys, want to tell you quickly about Row Nutrition's NAD+, one of the greatest energy sources I've ever tried. NAD+, if you don't know, is the energy source for mitochondria. Mitochondria has been called the fuel cells of the body, so their function is critically important, and without NAD+, nothing happens. Prior to discovering Row Nutrition's liposomal NAD+, I only knew of NAD+ to be delivered via injection, and honestly, that's a bit of a pain in the neck and cost prohibitive. Row Nutrition has taken the stress out of the delivery system and made it cost effective. This stuff is awesome. I've been taking it for over a year. I'm running about 70 to 80 miles a week at 54 years old. And NAD Plus keeps me going. I take it every single day, first thing in the morning. Highly recommend it. Go to rownutrition.com. Use the promo code RIDEOUT to save some money. Again, rownutrition.com. Use the promo code RIDEOUT. Boom.
My dad growing up, I think he really wanted to make sure that he got us ready for like life's challenges, and just trying to get us tough to where we could handle life.
Yeah.
And the way that he did that and the way that he went about that was just making us run with him.
Yeah.
So like we didn't really have a choice, but I don't know. It's like now I can appreciate it. Back then, maybe I was like, this dude is just freaking, he's relentless. Like, why is he making us do this?
Yeah.
But I can appreciate it now.
How old were you when he like started to get recognized? Because like me, he was like toiling away in anonymity and for years, right? And then how did he get recognized and what was that like?
He was always like kind of well known in a local sense, just because he was a bow hunter. And like the bow rack, they would put up like his hunting photos in the bow rack. So like he was kind of well known in like the hunting community. And then he really started to get more well known. He went on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Okay.
I think like when I was in high school. And then I didn't even know. Like I knew Joe from Fear Factor. I didn't even know what a podcast was.
Yeah.
And then he came over, Joe did, when I was a freshman in college, and I still didn't really know the Joe Rogan experience, but my dad was like, yeah, I want you to meet my friend Joe. And I was like, the Fear Factor guy? And then so like kids started to like message me and they're like, dude, I heard your dad on Rogan's podcast. And I was like, oh, that's cool, I guess. But he only had like a couple 100,000 followers back then. And now he's at like 2 million. So.
But it's crazy because now he's like buddies with Jelly Roll. He's friends with everyone. It's like he's...
Yeah. The world has shrunk a lot because of social media.
Yeah.
And it's been cool to see. I mean, that's how we got connected.
Yeah.
So like it's cool. you can kind of check up on people, and then people can keep you accountable too. It's like, man, this guy's getting after it. Now I want to push harder in my training. But no, my dad he's definitely grown a lot in like the last few years, and it's been fun to see.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him for sure.
I love social media for a lot of aspects. I mean, we talk about all the shit talkers and stuff, but when you really think about it, like 99% of the comments that you get and the support you get is all positive. You only get a few haters. It just sucks that they get like 90% of your attention. But
I know.
I connected with awesome people like yourself. I mean, social media has allowed me, like through sharing my experience, to connect with some really awesome people. And like I said, I think it gets a bad rap, but I've like tried to make the most of it. And I know when I look at you in the jeans and doing your stuff, I'm like, man, this guy is a marketable guy. And I know you're working with the jeans company and ketones. Who else are you working with?
Working with Transparent Labs. They're my
supplements?
Supplements company, and I have a running gel actually coming out with them.
Oh, nice.
Pretty soon. So, yeah, I mean, this has opened up a lot of doors for sure, and I want to make myself, in my eyes, like someone that's worthy of having their own running gel. So, like the Olympic trials just kind of make sense in that way, and again, just this entire idea of me like pushing for the trials is I want people to recognize that it's not too late for them to chase their own dreams, whatever it may be. Might not be in the running realm, but whatever it is in your life, if you're willing to work for it, putting in just as much work, if not more work than everyone else, then shit, you can do anything.
I think we both kind of represent that. I mean, I didn't run a race till I was in my late 30s, like literally, and didn't get competitive till I was in my mid 40s.
Right. Yeah. And when did you run your fastest marathon ever? How old were you?
My fastest marathon, I ran 2:28. I was 49, but I've run 2:29 5 or 6 times over 50.
Jeez. Okay. And how old are you now?
54. Oh,
54.
hard to say.
And are you hoping, like, do you think a 220 sub 229 is like still in the cards for you?
I spent so much time focusing on this book over the last year. I really think I could do it. It's just you have to want to do that like you want to live. Like when I'm training for a marathon, like I want to win that race, whatever winning is to me, like I want to breathe. Like it takes every ounce of effort and all my focus. And my kids are like young teenagers. I've got a new agency. I've got a book coming out. The promo for the book is like overwhelming. It's by far the worst part of writing a book is like calling people, trying to get on podcasts. It's just, I hate every second of it. But
a lot of work.
More than the work, the physical work, the anxiety and the like emotional stress it puts on me, like that is more wearing on me than the physical work. The physical work I can absorb. The emotional like anguish, I'm like, oh, why is this bothering me so much? But I think I could. It's just finding the will. It doesn't happen by accident.
No, it doesn't. I mean, the marathon training, it not only requires like all of my time and effort, like my wife is so crucial here as well, because your entire day is revolved around getting better at running.
Yeah.
And then it's like with that, it's like you got to worry about getting enough sleep. You got to worry about getting the right nutrition. And then so like she's cooking for me when I'm out on my run. And then she's so invested. And then every time I go out the door, I don't want to let her down. So I want to make sure that I'm giving my best effort. And then it's just all these days and all that effort accumulates. And then it makes you to where now you have your best opportunity to go and run your best time. And even then it's not a guarantee because so much can happen on race day. But no, it's been all consuming. And like, I mean, I couldn't do it without her. So yeah, she's been great. And I know so many people are like, man, where do I find like a wife like yours? And I'm like, part of me is thinking, I don't know if you necessarily would want a wife like mine, because she might chew you up and spit you out. She's pretty tough herself.
Yeah.
So it's like to have someone that believes in you and supports in you, you got to be someone that's worthy of having someone that believes in you and supports in you. It's like, what are you giving that person that would make them want to invest in you so much?
You're right. When I go and do races, that's a good point. Like I'm bringing everyone with me. And I've said this before about just all of my friends, like all the people in my community, even people like yourself. I feel like when I win something, I'm like, I fucking won this for everyone. Yeah. We all won.
Exactly.
In a weird way. I don't know. But I wear all the losses myself.
Yep.
But my initial reaction anytime I've been lucky enough to win is like, I did this for everyone. I'm winning for all of the friggin' losers out there that have been like beaten down. I'm like, and my wife and kids, I'm like, we all did it.
Yeah.
But when I lose, I'm like, oh, I let everyone down. I'm a loser.
No. Yeah, you feel like you're standing alone there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that level of, I feel like I'm doing it for us, like for the people that were looked over, that were picked on. Because, not to make it like sound dramatic, but I was a kid that I couldn't say my R's and S's, like growing up. And I was bullied in school. And I was the smallest kid in class. So I was just, I had a lot working against me as a kid.
Yeah.
And, I would wet the bed every single night until I was like 7 years old, which is pretty old to be wearing a pull-up. But so like all of this, I just kind of identify with people that are underdogs, people that didn't really have like, I don't know, just like everything given to them. You just have to work really, really hard. And like when I have a success, it's just like, dude, this is credit to all of us that freaking, nothing came easy, but we got it done. And I hope everyone like feels like they could win because of my victory.
That's the kind of thing that a lot of people don't understand is like a lot of times the baggage that comes with winning and having the kind of personality like you have, some of it I think might be driven by like childhood trauma or the baggage that comes with it, the like insane competitiveness and the pressure that you put on yourself. So everybody wants to win, but not everybody wants to like carry the boats like David Goggins would say. Like they don't want the shit that comes with it. They just want the glory. And it's like, this is a process. And that's why I think when you, at least for me, I would win the Myrtle Beach Marathon and my wife's like, oh my God, you won. That's so awesome. I'm like, I ran 2:30, 30 seconds. I can't believe I couldn't find 30 seconds. And she was like, do you realize like you put yourself in a position that you never win? You win a race and you didn't go fast enough. She's like, you went fast enough to win. And it brings me back to reality to be like, I have got to find a way to enjoy the victories because I suffer with the losses.
Yeah, I know. You come to expect so much of yourself that like when you do win, it's just like, yeah, I kind of expected to anyway.
I think when I win, I'm like, oh, everyone has sucked. I do.
Right, I know. In a weird way, that's what makes you better the next time around, though, is because you never let your foot off the gas.
Yeah.
But then you never relish in your victories, too, it seems like, which can be damaging.
Yes.
It can be hard, and you want to be able to celebrate with those around you, but there's a part of you is just like never satisfied almost.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I want to be able to run faster and get better. And it's like, well, yeah, until what point?
Yeah.
When your identity is attached to performance and always improving, that can be tough.
That's one of the reasons I've kind of stepped back a little the last 2 seasons in particular is just like, I don't want to feel like I'm performing for other people. And I did. And I was like, the people who like are impressed or care about this, like I don't really care about them necessarily. Like they're not my audience. My audience lives under my roof. They're all in my house. So I wanted to try to be a little bit more present. And when I'm training, you know how it gets, I get cranky. I'm like super stressed out. Oh, this is bothering me. That's bothering me. I got to figure out here. I've just got a lot of shit going on in my mind. But I remember at one point you ran a race. I want to say you ran a half marathon under 110, right?
That was it was
crazy fast.
It was a super downhill course. I should say.
I remember looking at that and going, this is insane. He could fucking make the marathon. He could make the Olympic team.
Right. Yeah, no, it was a 106.03. Yes. It was like a 5:03 average mile. But I mean, when I say downhill, the entire course was downhill.
What race was it?
It was called the Drop Half Marathon. It's in Utah.
Oh, okay.
I randomly found out about it like a couple weeks before it went on because my wife's like lash lady, she was just mentioned it. Then I was like, oh, I need a race. And then I was like, maybe I'll sign up for that one. And then I totally didn't expect to win it at all.
Yeah.
And then I did. And I was like, oh, shoot.
Was that the first race you've won? Like a big race?
That was like the first big race that I've won.
Incredible, right?
Yeah. No, it's a great feeling. I mean, when I crossed the finish line, my wife was like, you just won.
Yeah.
She's like, do you realize what just happened? And I was like, I guess I did. I was like, that never happens for me. Because I'm just so used to not winning anything until like the pull-up record.
Yeah.
Which even then you're not like beating someone head to head.
Yep.
So it was just like, it was such a new feeling. And it felt great because, like head to head, my brother and I would play one-on-one basketball all the time growing up. And I still, till this day, I'm 29 years old, I've never beat him. So it's just like, I'm used to getting second place.
Yeah.
So to get first at like an official race, I was like, damn, that's a good feeling.
I won the Pasadena half marathon in 2020. 21 maybe, or 20 or 21. And it finished in the Rose Bowl, 9,000 people. It was on KTLA TV and on live TV in LA in the Rose Bowl. And I come running, I'm like, oh my God. Like I was leading and I knew I was leading, but I was like, someone's going to catch me. Like they're letting me get ahead. I come in, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to win. They interview me live on the news. The woman's like, oh my God, here he is. Here's the winner. I posted the clip and it's live on the news. And she's like, how was it out there? I'm like, doesn't say much about the competition when an old man is winning by this much. And she was like, oh, don't say that. And then I realized I was crapping on everyone. I was like, no, everyone was great.
Right.
But I was so in the I was like, oh my God, I won a race. That one felt really good. I was like, oh, I can't believe I won.
Gee, so there was a bunch of people in the Rose Bowl just cheering you on.
It was like, I mean, it was, there was 100 people in there, but it came in through the tunnel where the teams come in and runs along the sideline. And
that's pretty cool.
It was awesome. That's a great race. You could win that. Like I ran 112 and won. So it's not super competitive, but it's big.
112 is still a pretty good time.
It's a big race.
Yeah,
and then I won the Malibu half marathon a couple of times. That was pretty fun.
Okay.
There's a story in my book. I won it one year and ran like 116 or 117. It wasn't super competitive. So the next year, there was a black guy there who clearly looked like an Olympic runner. He happened to be Eritrean in hindsight, and he ran in like the 2012 Olympics in the 5K for Eritrea. But he was warming up, and my wife and kids never come to the races because they don't care. And to me, it's like work, and it's just stressful to have them there. But they came. We lived in the Palisades, so they was just down the road. So the guy's warming up, and I go over to my wife, and I'm all down, and she's like, what's the matter? I go, look at this guy. Like, it's fucking like an Olympic runner over here. He's going to smash me. And it's hard to judge at the start of a race who's, because sometimes guys look really good, and then they're like, I'm like, what the hell happened to the guy who looked like Prefontaine?
Right.
So he's standing right in front of me. We're on the start line, kind of to the side, and he was with a white kid who was like, maybe like 23. And the white kid says to the black kid, it turns out the black guy's a coach at Cal Berkeley, I think cross country or something, a really nice guy. And the white kid had run for him as an athlete, now lived in LA. And he's like, yeah, you see the time that won this race last year? It was terrible. And I was like, yo, it was fucking fast enough to be the fucking winner. Well, see what you're going to do. Right. Dude, I was literally like ready to kill him. He must have been like, this guy's a nut. And I was. So we take off, and they take off running like 5 flat. And I'm like, I run through 1 mile, and there's my wife and kids. I'm like shrugging my shoulders. Like, I won last time. I expected to win.
Yeah.
Oh, and the kid tried to like make nice after he said that. He's like, oh, I only have on a t-shirt. I should have wore a singlet. I didn't know it was competitive. So I blow past him at like 9 miles, and I beat him, and he comes in behind me. So I wait for him at the start line. I go, dude, next time you should wear a singlet. Really like put your best effort forward. I was like, I wanted to kill him. And then my wife's like, what do you care? And I'm like, I know, I'm an insecure idiot, but it still offended me.
So what time won it that year? Like,
he ran like 110 effortlessly, and I ran like 112 high.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Dang, I know, but like that certain competitive edge, you feel like it helps you?
Oh, yeah, I have to I always say, before the race starts, I'm an ass. Like, I'm very aggressive. Like, every major marathon that I've run, I started the race standing on the start line just by being a bully. Like, coming through. And if someone else tried to come through, I'd be like, you don't see me standing here?
Right.
What are you doing? But if it were me, I'm just like, coming through, guys, come on.
Yeah, where do you think that comes from?
Insecurity? I don't know.
Like growing up, did you have brothers or anything?
No, to be honest with you, growing up, and I was telling my kids this because the two older ones, the oldest one's a little aggressive, the middle one's very timid. And I tried to explain to them, I'm like, listen, I was like a very timid kid. And as I got older, I realized like, you're as tough as you think you are. And at the end of the day, like when you go through the progression of like, what is going to happen if I put myself out there super aggressive? Someone's going to want to fight with me. I boxed for a long time. I've like done jujitsu. I'm like, cool. Like there's 100 people here. This will be over in 3 seconds, and I'm going to throw the first punch. I promise. Right. So I start explaining to the kids, like from a practical standpoint, like what's the worst that can happen? If someone wants to have a fight with you, so what? Unless it's you and him in a jail cell, like someone's going to break that up.
Yeah.
And once you kind of go through that process of realizing like not being a jerk, but just being aggressive and like, standing up for what you believe in.
And not being afraid. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Not being afraid. So I just like put myself in a position to win. But the minute I cross the finish line, I'm like, I love everyone. I'm everyone's best friend. And my wife laughs because she's like, you're the biggest running nerd at the finish line, but the biggest asshole at the start. And I'm like, pretty much.
No, I know. I always think that I'm going to just like call people out once I come across the finish line, but I'm so humbled by the end of a race. I'm like, all my freaking aggressiveness is out the window. And I'm just like, oh, thank God it's over.
But before the race, I think I'm just so nervous and on edge. I'm like, it manifests in like overly aggressive assertiveness and aggressiveness. But
yeah, no, I mean, I have just so many like people in my mind that I'm going to call out if I'm able to run well tomorrow. And I'm sure it's going to go out the window by the time I cross the finish line. But I've been telling my wife like all week long, I'm like, these bitches don't know
making
what's
a hit
coming.
list.
Yeah, I was like, they have no idea. They wrote me off so many times, and then tomorrow it's all going to come together, and they're going to see what I'm about. But no, I mean that level of showing people what's what, it really gets me going.
Yeah.
It really does help.
If you're looking for a clean, sustainable energy boost without the jitters, Athletic Nicotine is for you. Athletic Nicotine offers the lowest dose, slow release, tobacco-free nicotine made right here in the USA, and it's free from microplastics. Whether you're an athlete, a biohacker, an artist, or someone who just loves getting into that flow state, this product is designed to gradually lift your energy, helping you stay focused and sharp without crashing. It's perfect for shifting your mindset and keeping you in the zone all day long. I use Athletic Nicotine before every podcast or whenever I have to be mentally focused. I throw one in right before the meeting or the podcast, and it's the perfect performance tool to sharpen your mind. If you're ready to level up your focus, head over to athleticnicotine.com/rideout to grab yours today. Again, that's athleticnicotine.com/rideout. Well, when you ran that 106 at the drop half, I didn't know it was a downhill and didn't care. You still have to get down there.
Right.
And I saw it, and I think I even sent you a message, like, you should try to qualify for the Olympic trials. Because you know that, like, when I first started running, you could run a sub 105. So you could run a 104.59 and qualify for the trials. I mean, probably not at the drop, but you're not that far off. So I'm like, holy shit, he could qualify for the trials. But then I would see you doing like pull-up contests and running in jeans. I'm like, if he wears the right gear and trains just running, I bet you he can do it. So I don't know. I think it's funny that people would waste their time and effort to be like, this guy's crazy, he can't do it. Like somehow you're offending them by saying, I'm going to do this.
Oh, I know. I mean, there's like well-known coaches that will come out and like speak against me. Even with announcing the goal, they're like, I hope this guy realizes like how much of a change needs to happen from a 229 to a 216. And I'm like, I don't think as a coach, you should be telling people what they're capable of.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, if I want to find out for myself, then that's great. But to like write it off as like disrespectful that I'm even trying to attempt it, it's such a weird idea.
Well, the other thing I would say is anyone who can run a 229 knows enough about running, you dork, to know what it takes to run faster.
Yeah.
Because if you run a 229, you are not a clown. Like that very few people have ever even done that.
I know, and that takes a certain level of dedication. So it's not like you're just a newbie and you just happen to come across a 229. It's like, no, you have to work for that.
And you're young, you're fit, you obviously have the right mentality because you ran a 229 while doing all the other shit. What did you run, like 15 marathons last year? I feel like you ran a race every week.
Yeah, well, last year I think I ran, it might have been 6 or 7. I did 3 in 1 month, which was a lot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then no, I think I ran like 6 or 7 marathons, and then I did Leadville as well, and then I did the BPN Last Man Standing race.
That's what I mean. It's like if you take all of that shit out and focus on 2 or 3 marathons spaced out like 4 to 6 months apart, like I think you could do it. Like I'm super psyched to see it. Like I want to see you do it just so all these people could be like. And the other thing that I love is because as soon as you do that, they're going to be like, he's never going to pass a drug test. And I was saying to someone about this the other day. I'm like, if he makes the marathon trials, he's getting drug tested. Believe me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you're at the races and you're training, come and give me a drug test. Like, why would you make such stupid, slanderous comments about someone? Just come to the race and give me the test.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, I have no idea why people even waste their time and energy on that. I posted my blood results. I got it done, I think this was like 2 months ago or something. And then you could see my results, everything that would indicate if I was on something. Obviously, I'm not. And then I showed that, and you could show them anything.
Yeah.
And so they have in their mind, no way. It's like you have a little bit of muscle because, I was really into the gym and everything. You must be on steroids. But it's like, dude, you put in, isn't it possible that maybe I just want it more than you?
Yeah,
like,
and it's a full-time job.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Every ounce of effort is focused on one thing.
Right.
And when you think about that, okay, every ounce of effort is focused on this and I ran 229. A pro runner, every ounce of effort is focused on running, and he runs 2:01. Okay, he's got a different physique, but you talk 30 minutes? Like, you don't think that I can take a few minutes off if someone else can do this like a minute a mile faster? I just think like the difference between where the elites are and where the top amateurs are is so vast.
Yeah, it
and
is.
It's not like they're a different species.
No, and that's what I really want to get across is like they bleed just like I bleed. They hurt just like I hurt, you know? So it's like, what does it really come down to? And, you know, I think weight is a really big. It's really big to focus on because, like I said, I've lost like 12 pounds, and the miles that I'm hitting now, like just a couple days ago, I just wanted to run a couple miles. I live in Utah, so it's like 4,200 feet. I just wanted to run marathon pace just to get my body used to it. And I ran a 5:06 in my trainers without really even trying. And like, that's with like me losing the weight pretty recently.
Yep.
And I was like, oh shit. I was like, so this is what it feels like. like to lose weight and not have a weight vest on you.
Yep.
It makes such a big difference. So that's why I'm like, don't write me off just yet. I've been running in the 160s. Now I'm in the low 150s. We'll see what it takes.
Yeah. It's going to be super interesting to see. Yeah. So like, what's next on the marathon front and like racing front?
I have the London Marathon in April.
It's a good race.
Yeah, that's a fast one. And then I have Chicago in October.
Yep.
And then CIM again in December.
Oh, that's a perfect balance because I get a spring and then a fall marathon too in the Chicago, and then December is the perfect. It's about 8 weeks. Oh, that'll be a good one. In Chicago and London, I ran sub 2:30 in both of those, and it wasn't easy, but they were those are good, honest courses.
Yeah, just like flat and fast.
Yeah.
And I think good weather. It might be a little bit warm in London, but normally in Chicago by October, it's a little bit chill. So no, I'm looking forward to it.
And what does your diet look like? What's a standard daily diet look like right now?
If I'm just in the middle of training, I'll do like around 120 miles a week.
Yep.
I guess what I've worked up to, and my body responds well to that. And then I'll eat around like 3,500 calories a day.
Good Lord, you must be like, that's crazy low.
Yeah, because, you know, I want to be in just a little bit of a deficit. Nothing crazy. It's usually like 100 to 200 calories.
Yeah.
That I'm in a deficit, but it honestly, it hasn't been too bad. Like I don't go to bed hungry usually. And then it's like all of it's usually homemade. My wife is making sure that it's like homemade sourdough, and then it's very regimented. I can almost like punch in the food that I eat the day before because I know exactly what I'm going to eat the next day. So, and then it's like 9 hours of sleep a night. So everything is set up to where I'm going to get the absolute most out of myself.
Yeah. Sleep is one that a lot of people underestimate. I don't mess around when it comes to sleep. My kids know, like, do not, if dad's sleeping, do not mess around.
Yeah.
And I don't get a lot of sleep, so I'm usually up before them. But if they're up first, they know, like, please do not wake me up.
Yeah. I mean, so when you ran like your PRs, were you looking at a certain body weight, or are you just running with what was comfortable?
That's the thing that is probably that I look back on and think like, I left money on the table. Like I didn't focus as much on not nearly as much as you do right now. Like I couldn't tell you what my daily calorie consumption was. And I didn't really track anything, even heart rate. I never run with heart rate ever. People will ask me like, what's your average heart rate at this? I'm like, I couldn't tell you one single aspect of my heart rate.
Really?
Sometimes I'd be like, what was my max heart rate there? 185, but as you get older, it gets lower.
Yeah.
But I was into cycling for a long time and did some races with Lance Armstrong, like on a team with him once. And I had a power meter that was like $3,000. I had all the metrics. And I wouldn't look at anything. People were like, what was your average watts output or something? And I was like, I don't really know.
It can mess with your head.
Yeah. And I would always say, when I have to start analyzing the data, it becomes a job. And I don't want this to be a job. So I did everything and have always done everything by perceived effort. If he prescribes a run workout, there are times, and I would try to hit the times. But one thing that I would say to everyone is, don't get obsessive and hung up on the times in training. Because like I said, I would run races where I couldn't run a mile at the pace that I ran 26. I mean, I could probably do it, but the point is it wouldn't be easy. I'd be like, there's no way I can run 26 miles like this. But on race day, you just get into the mode where I'm like, there's no need to worry about recovering. I don't have to worry about doing X, Y, Z later today. I'm going to empty the tank and finish on empty.
Yeah.
But that's also something that I don't think a lot of people can comprehend. Like I've left in an ambulance twice. Like, I mean, I crossed the line in Berlin and collapsed, really collapsed. Like I was seeing friggin' blurry vision with like 5 miles to go.
Damn, really?
Dude, I was in such good shape. This was like 2022, and I was trying to win all the 50 and over for all the world marathon majors.
Yeah.
So I had won New York, Boston. I got second in London and I got second in Berlin. So I went into Berlin, though, the fittest I've ever been. And I went out hard with the female pros. I was on the back of the pack of the second group of females. They were running 5:30 flat, like, dude, like a metronome. Every mile, I was like, dude, these girls are like right on to the second.
Uh-huh.
And it was hot. And I was fit. So I was like, okay, I can do this. But that's 10 seconds faster, 9 seconds faster per mile. And I'm like, I know this is stupid, but I feel so good.
Right.
Well, I felt good until I didn't. 17 miles, dude, I started going in reverse. And I finished. So I'm thinking I'm going to run 2:26. I ran 2:35. And I did everything I could to survive. I crossed the finish line. I was like, medic, boink, right down.
Gosh.
Dude, I was in the medical tent forever. They were like going to ship me to the hospital. And I went to the hospital in Kona once.
Well, where do you think that, because I've never actually pushed myself to that limit, where do you think that comes from?
Dude, I was so mortified after that race. I called my wife. I was like almost inconsolable. She's like, are you crying? And I'm like, I'm so humiliated. And she's like, in front of who? I'm like, myself. I was so, 2 weeks later, I ran 2:29 in Chicago with 2 weeks of recovery after like being that depleted. So I was really in shape and I just effed up the pacing. And that's the thing with marathon is you can make such stupid mistakes early, not fueling early and often, going too hard, even a few steps. And once you get to that, once you deplete all the glycogen, there's nothing left and you're like running on like willpower.
Well, there's nothing left you can really do. And that happened to me during the CIM just a couple months ago. Is I got to mile 18 and I came to a complete stop during that race. Because my stomach, I tried carb loading for whatever reason a couple days before, like more than I'd ever eaten. And I was like, oh, this is going to help. Like I looked it up and it's supposed to help you like 2 to 3 minutes faster, apparently.
Yeah.
Like if you get your body full of all these carbs, you don't normally want to try something new the day before a race.
Exactly.
So I learned that the hard way, but my stomach was so full of all this shit and fucking food that I got to mile 18 and it was like, I could not believe the pain, the cramps. And then so I came to a stop and I was like wheezing. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I just kind of came to, I was running like 5:35.
Yeah.
And then the next 2 miles, 18 and 19, because I stopped, it was 6:21 and 6:24.
Yeah.
And then I ended up finishing at 2:29. But I told myself, I was like, I really need to get it together because people are going to be proven right if I can't run under 2:30.
No, know they would have been jumping all over you.
I had a split-second decision because, you know, sub 2:30, you don't have a lot of time to like fuck around.
No.
Yeah, you got to get going. So then I was like, you know what, my stomach's killing me. I'm just going to keep pushing and see what happens. You know, like I got to at least give my best effort. And then so I did, and I was able to finish right under 2:30 with like 11 seconds to spare. But I was like, if I would have gotten over 2:30, then people would have been like, I told you guys that he's a fraud and he doesn't have what it takes. And I was like, I just didn't want to hear it. So I pulled out everything from me.
That's what people don't understand. Like when you're trying to run, like every single second matters. Like in Chicago, when I won the 50 and over age group world championships, I ran 2:29 and 11 seconds. Dude, that 11 seconds still haunts me every day. I'm like, oh, couldn't find 12 more seconds. But the truth is, I knew where I was with 2 miles to go. So that was me. When people, you should have just sprinted it in. That was me sprinting the last 3 miles. That was me running as absolutely fast as I could. But that's, I think, part of the curse that you get, okay, you get to have a great race, but this is the baggage that comes with it. You have to have this mindset of like, no, there's nothing fun about this. Yeah. Finishing is fun. But like when you're running that fast, like I don't even have the effort or the inclination to like wave to someone if someone's like, go. And I'm like, you know, if you're just clowning around, you're like, hey, what's up? I'm like, I refuse to even like deviate my eyes. Like, you know what I mean? You just get locked in. I'm like, I'm not wasting. I'm trying to cut all the corners just right. And trying to like, I don't know, to run, for me to run the best I can, I've got to do everything perfectly. I just don't have natural gifts. You know what I mean? I'm sure you probably feel the same way.
I feel the same way. And I know people try to talk to me because I listen to music. And then so it's like they say something and then I got to take out the headphone. I'm like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
And then I don't even know what they say. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And then it's just like, it's like, dude, this is requiring everything from me. It might not be hard for you, but this is killing me right now.
So wait a minute, when you're running with headphones, is the music on the watch or do you have a phone with you?
I have a phone.
Oh my God.
I know. It's probably not the best,
There's
but
another one where I'm like, all right, there's another few seconds.
I put it in my back pocket when I wear the jeans. And then I
That's
have
so
the
funny.
gels in my front pockets. I'll take 6 with me tomorrow and then a couple salt pills because it's going to be kind of hot tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I don't cramp, but
I sweat way too much to run in any kind of leggings. I would be dying. I like run so hot. That's why I've always run really well when it's freezing cold. So maybe I could wear jeans in the freezing cold. But for training, I can wear anything. But for a race, I need to be cold.
yeah. And they say, that helps with heart rate, obviously.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think it was Sisu Sauna. Do you have one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pete Nelson.
Yeah, Pete
best
Nelson
guy.
and then Austin.
Yeah. Austin Mills.
Austin Mills, he put mine together and he was like, Ken Rideout, he hates the sauna.
I hate it.
Yeah, which is hilarious because normally, do you do cold plunge too?
Yeah, I hate that too.
Okay. I was going to say, because you run hot, maybe that's why you hate the sauna, but you hate the cold plunge too. So maybe.
Yeah, I have a primal ice. It's incredibly high end. It's like a big cedar thing. It's stainless steel line.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It is incredible. The chiller works. It works too good. I get in there and I'm like, oh my God, this thing is so cold. I'm sitting on the stainless steel.
Right.
I'm a baby with that stuff. I hate the sauna. I hate the cold plunge.
I do the sauna just about every day. I enjoy it. So
really?
I think that, if you don't enjoy it, then maybe there's no benefit, but I can like relax in there and then I sweat quite a bit. So.
Oh no, I think that
Feels good.
there's a huge benefit, like physiological benefit. I just don't enjoy it. Probably the first 10 minutes I get in there and I do this coherence breathing exercise for like 6 minutes of like breathe in on 5 seconds, out on 5 seconds for 5 or 6 minutes. Huberman did it with Rick Rubin, and I put it on YouTube. I listen to it. It just plays a sound ding, ding every 5 seconds, and I just do the coherence breathing. It's supposed to help with heart rate variability.
Okay.
Then I obsess over my sleep. I look at I have 8 sleep is the greatest invention in the history of sleep.
My parents have that.
Dude, the best. Yeah, I've got the Ultra that raises your head and feet so you can watch TV or read.
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible. And it adjusts in the nighttime. If you're snoring, it will adjust your head up and down. The thing's awesome. The problem is between that and the Whoop, I then wake up and the first thing I do is obsess over, okay, what was my heart rate variability? And I can never figure, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, I slept like a rock and it'll be like 33% recovered. I'm like, or I'll feel like I kept waking up and it'll be like 80% recovered. And I'm like, none of this makes sense to me. It literally is like flipping a coin.
It's just a random number, probably.
Oh man, imagine it comes out. They're like, yeah, none of these numbers matter. They just literally make them up.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't wear my watch to bed. I don't keep track of a lot of numbers. I always say like the only number that I truly care about is the weight on the scale because that number doesn't lie.
Yep.
And then the numbers that you see above the marathon finish line.
Yeah.
And everything else, I'm just like, dude, who cares? As long as the effort's there, like we've been saying, then that's all I really concern myself with. But no, I'm excited for tomorrow. I mean, I think just with the level of training that I've been able to hit these times and train, I'm just excited to see what tomorrow brings. But my fastest marathon of all time is 2:25:41, and that was at St. George. So people say it's not a legit course, but felt pretty tough to me because it loses 3,000 feet, and then you gain 500, so it's like 2,500 feet elevation loss over the course of the race. You definitely feel that, like the downhill. And you can go faster, but you still need to be in pretty good shape, I think.
No, for sure.
Yeah, but like Austin is not known as a fast course, but that's just another excuse. I feel like I'm like, dude, it's only like you used to do 10 miles and a 1,200 feet elevation gain.
Yep.
So it's 1,200 feet elevation gain over the course of the entire marathon. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal, but it's a lot more than Boston and New York, and those are hard races.
Yeah, no, I know. The New York is definitely, it's like a little under 1,000.
Yeah.
But I love New York. Like
I ran terrible. I won the Masters division in New York when I was 51. I won the 40 and over by 3 seconds.
Jeez. Okay.
That was like one of my proudest moments ever because like 2 of the previous 3 or 4 winners was Meb Keflezighi and Abdi Rahman, who Abdi ran 5 U.S. Olympics for 5 U.S. teams.
Jeez.
Different events all the way up to the marathon. But Meb won Boston, New York and got a silver in the Olympics, and he won the Masters in New York a few years before me.
Yeah.
Obviously, they ran much faster, but like that's one of those things where, hey, I ran faster than everyone over 40 on this day. Okay, I ran 2:33 and they ran 2:15, but guess what? They weren't there on the day when I was, and I did everything I had to do. So it was just, and again, I won by 3 seconds. And, it's a stat, it's a mass start. People could be coming in from all over, like different times. Man, I was so happy with that.
No,
and
that's got to feel good.
But in Boston, I ran 2:30 in like 20 seconds, and I was so bummed. I was so close in that race. I wish I was racing at the end. I survived, just barely got to the finish in Boston.
Dang. Okay. Yeah. Because that was, like I said, that was a course that I felt great on because I was able to utilize that downhill.
Yeah, early.
Yeah. And then, I just felt great, felt strong coming across the finish line. But I know there's a certain level of balance for sure. It's like being able to push to the very limit and then still leave it enough to run hard. It's almost like it's out of your hands. It seems like some days, like you don't really even know how it's going to go. You just kind of have to hope for the best.
That's it.
Yeah. But no, tomorrow's going to be great. I know a lot of people are following along now that I've announced the trials goal, and a lot of people are convinced that it's impossible for me, but tomorrow we're going to see if I can make some progress.
Well, just remember that the guys who don't think you can do it are limited and loud, but the people that do believe in you is probably much more numerous and maybe not out there like shaking pom-poms, but like I know I'm like cheering for you. Every time it comes up in conversation with anyone, I'm like, why couldn't he? Right. He might make the Olympic team if he wants to. Who are you to say what he can do? The guy's a savage. He did 8,000 pull-ups.
Well, 10,000.
10,000.
Yeah, it's doing 10,000.
It's crazy. It's crazy because I do pull-ups every single day. But like I did a strength test. I think I did 29. Strict pull-ups. But I do pull-ups every single day.
Right.
Because I think they're like the true test. Yeah. There's nowhere to hide. You know if you're cheating on them or not.
Oh, yeah.
So I get down there with my kids and they're like, some of them are really into it. One of them will be like, I can't do any. I'm like, you're going to do as many as you can. I'm going to help you. And I just give them like a spot and just force them to do them. I'm like, you have to do pull-ups.
No, it is a true test. And I think that's why I liked it, because it's like if your feet touch the ground, doesn't count. You got to get your chin over the bar. It's just, there's no way to cheat it. Yeah. And then it's like when you're doing it with the Guinness World Records, is you have a camera angle at the front, camera angle from the side. So they just they're monitoring everything. Yeah. And they go and review the footage and make sure every rep counts. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that, and the test of that, the mental fortitude that it takes to do that. And then that translates pretty dang well to running marathons. It's like, man, I don't think that these guys that run faster times than me, that they're necessarily tougher than me.
No,
and
I'm
not convinced that that's true. And then so maybe their argument is that I don't have the physical capability, but until you put in a lot of work for years, I don't consider trying. I don't consider that you truly tried at something until you give it years of your effort.
No, it took me years to get to where I got to, and it's no one cares when you're toiling in darkness and anonymity. And then when you win, they're like, where'd this guy come from? Right. And I'm like, I've posted every run I've ever done since 2012 on Strava, every single one.
Yeah.
So it always makes me laugh when people are like, oh, this guy, he came out of nowhere. I'm like, no, I've been here the whole time. You just haven't been paying attention.
Yeah.
Well, I'm rooting for you, and I think you can do it, and I can't wait until you do it. We'll have to do this again and address everyone by name who said you couldn't do it. So, dude, I know you got the race tomorrow, so thanks for coming by and doing this. I really appreciate you, and congratulations to Kim Hanes for raising such a cool young guy, and proud to be a friend.
You, Dad. Yeah, thank you, Ken. Thank you for having me on. And again, like you said, supporters they outweigh the haters by a lot. So I appreciate everyone that supports me, including you, and including the people that are often forgotten, like in my family, my wife and my brother, my sister, my dad, my mom, and even Eric out there, my friend who came. He's running the half marathon tomorrow. But yeah, thanks again for having me on. And it's an honor and a privilege to finally meet you. And again, inspired by your journey, excited to read your book. Thank you again for having me on, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being with us. Book comes out March 10th. Everything You Want Is on the Other Side of Hard. Available everywhere you buy books. Please check it out. Thank you. Boom.
Go and get it.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Please take a quick minute to subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening. This is a new show, so subscribing makes a huge difference. Please also take a minute to give it a review and leave a comment on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. You can also subscribe and leave a comment on YouTube. Again, this is really important for us, especially now since we're just getting started. Please also check out all of our sponsors. They make the show possible, and honestly, I love and use every single product we talk about on the show. You can learn more about me, this podcast, and also find links to purchase my upcoming memoir at theothersideofhard.com. My new book is called Everything You Want Is on the Other Side of Hard, and it comes out March 10th, available everywhere you buy books, Or again, go into theothersideofhard.com. There's multiple links there where you can find all the retailers carrying the book. Thanks a lot for being with us, and we'll see you next week.